Thanks for joining us today on our very first podcast of Legal Vixen. Today, I have my very cherished certified law clerk, Daniela Catone.
Hi, Karren.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. What are we going to cover today?
I think it's really important for everyone to get to know you. First, why are you doing this? What's your experience in doing this? How long have you been doing this? All that type of stuff so they understand why we're here today.
Okay, I'm a little scared because I don't know what she's going to ask me.
These intro questions are very, very soft, so we're not going to get into it too quick. But how old are you?
I'm taking the fifth on that one. Like, do we have to discuss my age?
Okay, she's taking the fifth on that one.
Well, I've been practicing 30 years, so
everyone can do the math.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's what I expected. What type of law do you practice?
Currently, I do criminal defense, mostly federal, which is fun.
Very fun.
Fun and crazy.
The best,
I also
actually
do some business litigation, and I'm a hired trial lawyer for a civil defense firm.
So you do it all.
I do it all, but my passion is to be in the courtroom doing jury trials. I love being in front of a jury.
Doesn't matter, criminal or civil.
It doesn't matter.
You just love a jury trial.
I just love jury trials. I'm currently in a trial right now in downtown Los Angeles for the firm that I assist, and it's been crazy.
Having fun with it?
Yes, to say the least. I wish I could speak more about it, but I have to be careful.
Obviously, there's laws around that.
Yes,
we have to follow the laws around here. But the bulk of your career has been in criminal defense, true?
Yes. When I first got out of law school, I was a civil litigator for 6 years, and I worked for a couple different firms to try to figure out what I wanted to do. Without sounding bad, I passed the bar in the 90s, and working for firms back then, they're pretty much male-dominated.
I can imagine.
Very male-chauvinistic, and wanting to just be able to progress and do jury trials, I saw that wasn't going to happen being in these male-dominated firms. You're kind of more like an office decoration.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't like that. So then I started applying because I wanted trial experience. I applied at the DA's office in Orange County, the public defender's office in Orange County, and ended up getting hired at the public defender's office.
I never knew that you worked civil first.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, I did not know that at all.
I did medical malpractice defense work, which was really fun because you're defending doctors that are being sued.
Yeah.
Some of the cases were fraudulent, in my opinion. Others were righteous. Scary. It was the same type of law, which was negligence. It's just the procedure would change. So it was fun, but that firm was very male chauvinistic, and I wasn't going to get any trial experience soon.
So then you went over to the public defender's office.
Yes.
And you were at the public defender's office for
12 years.
Wow.
The last 5 years of my time there, I did specifically white-collar crime, so major fraud.
You love a white-collar crime.
Yeah, it's fun.
We couldn't be more opposite there.
Well, in addition to being a licensed lawyer, I'm licensed in California, Texas, and Washington, D.C. I'm also a certified fraud examiner, so I get hired as an expert witness on fraud cases. People don't like fraud, or if they need a fraud person to come in and explain things. I just helped out a correctional officer who got fired accused of fraud that he did not commit. So I was glad to help him.
Yeah, and a lot of fraud going around after COVID.
Yes.
And the employment fraud. Everyone apparently was out there committing fraud during COVID. We were wearing masks and trying not to die, but everyone else
the government was like handing out money to whoever.
Yeah.
And the COVID fraud was so bad that the government extended the statute of limitations to 10 years. So if there's people out there that are worried about it, they have 10 years to come after you.
Yeah, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how much it was going on. And very easy to do.
Yeah, because anybody can fudge paperwork.
And just generate that.
Yep.
Yes, but fraud definitely is one of your passions.
Yes.
You and I are on opposite ends of that.
What, you don't like fraud?
I know. So for people to understand, as a law clerk, I do a lot of the brunt work. Yeah. You like to go to trial and be in court, and I do more of the brunt work. So no, they're very complicated. And I personally went to law school because I don't do math. And so anytime there's anything with numbers, I'm very bored. I like your lower level crimes, your murders, your drug dealers, your prostitutes, whatever they might be, just more interesting to me. But I think that's why it works well. You have what you like. I have what I like.
So true.
Yeah, very interesting. But so you were in the white collar crimes at the public defender's office, but did you also do other things while you were there? Were you in that?
That was the
whole time?
That was the last 5 years of my time there, but working up. When I started, you had to start at juvenile court first. I was there for a year, and then I got sent out to do misdemeanor trials. And
so you started at juvenile court?
I started juvenile court. It was really sad.
Do you remember the first case that you ever argued?
The first case I tried, yes. It was this cute girl.
I'm already attached.
She was 14, and she was accused of vandalizing a car in the parking lot of Soak City at Knott's Berry Farm. It was so crazy. I felt so bad for her. Like you see her and you just wouldn't think that she would have done something like that. Yeah. She ended up being found. The petition was sustained. So juvenile court's different than adult court, and you don't have a right to have a jury. Everything's decided by the judge. So you can see how that can sometimes be unfair. Yeah. Yeah, I had anger issues after that year in juvenile court. I had to get out of there.
Typically, they've stayed with you through your entire
it was horrible.
Your entire career. Oh, no, that would be very difficult with children, I would think.
It was hard.
Yeah. So sorry. So we talked about the certifications you have besides being an attorney. You are a fraud expert. That can scare people in the courtroom.
You think so?
I've seen it.
Well, the one reason I was interested in getting that certification was I was doing federal cases, and I noticed on the fraud cases, they would have people that were these certified fraud examiners. And I was like, what is that? So then I looked it up. It is pretty much a law enforcement related credential, but they allowed me to go through the 4-day testing process. No one said anything that I was a defense attorney. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to slip in. Through. Yeah. So, but it was funny because the 4 days that I was in Seattle doing it, this guy he was a DA from Louisiana, was teaching it. He was like the main spokesperson for this 4-day thing. And he starts out, and most of the people there were investigators, law enforcement. He's like, yeah, when you go up against those piece of lawyers, defense lawyers, I was like, oh, what?
You're like,
so I just sat there and I'm like, okay. On the first break, I went up to him and I introduced myself. And I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. I just want to let you know I'm one of those piece of lawyers you were talking about. And he was like, oh, sorry.
My apologies, ma'am.
I didn't want to be sitting through 4 days of testing with this guy completely bashing my profession.
I think that leads to a really good topic that I'm sure you've experienced. I've experienced when people ask me, oh, you're going to law school. What kind of law do you want to do? Or I say I work in criminal defense. It's why I went to law school. There's a lot of issue around the morals of that.
Yes.
And I've personally received a lot of backlash. Can you talk about whether you have and what that's been like? Because people automatically assume you want to do criminal defense. You have no morals. Yeah. What's that like for you?
So as a public defender, I first experienced this, obviously. The one question, and this is somewhat related, the one question would be these court-appointed defendants that I would be assigned. You don't get to pick your clients when you're a public defender. It's like, here's your new client. So there was many times where I would meet the client first, and they said it innocently, although I was offended by it. They'd be like, should I hire a real lawyer? What? What? Or
come again.
Or when do you get to become a DA? What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So I was like, So the clients that I wasn't necessarily fond of, I'm like, yes, you should hire a real lawyer.
Get me off this case.
It was such an outrage. But what was your original question? See, I went off topic.
Just that a lot of people give backlash. My dad, who is a civil attorney, is appalled that I would want to work in criminal defense. And what do you say to people that say you're defending the lowest of the low? How could you?
Well, people will ask, how can you defend somebody that you know is guilty?
Yes.
And I tell them it's not my job to judge my clients. I'm simply here to be their voice and fight for them. And you have to be able to separate your personal feelings about the case or the client. You have to push those aside. And some people can't do it. You have to push those aside and basically step into the shoes of your client and fight for them. So that's what I tell people, and they get it.
Yeah.
You know, some people shouldn't be charged with everything they're being charged with. Some people just want a better, you know, the best deal that they can get. And of course, anybody that's charged with a crime is going to want the best deal that they can get. So that makes sense. Once I explain myself to people, they seem to understand it.
Yeah, that's been kind of my experience. And once I say, hey, we live in a legal system where we all have a right to an attorney, and we're just guiding them through this process, making sure their rights are guaranteed, and again, not judging. That seems to kind of flip around, you know, given the question, what if you were in their shoes?
Exactly, or a family member.
An attorney.
Yeah.
I think that also presents a really good question as well, separating your emotions from your clients.
It's hard.
We know I don't do that well.
Well, this is what's going to be hard for you, and it was hard for me. So I've done about 100 jury trials in the last 30 years, mostly criminal. I just jumped into the civil realm, so I've done like 3 civil jury trials now. But the problem with the criminal trials is you get so worked up when you're prepping because you have to believe what you're selling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So during this process, if you were first kind of doubting your defense, well, you have to get into the defense, and you're so into the defense, and you go through this trial and you're trying to convince 12 people of your side. And when you lose, it takes like 3 days to come down.
I can't imagine.
And you like start to have to like process the loss because you really believed, you know, your defense. So that's probably the hardest part. And then, of course, there's people you honestly think are not guilty that get convicted, and those are the hard ones.
That's the hardest part. Or watching people who had no other option in life, you know, really get just the hammer slammed on them. And for me personally, you know, I'm too much of an empath. I'm like, why don't you want to give him another chance? But I am always, you know, very much in awe of your ability to have empathy for our clients and also separate it where you understand, you know, I'm here to do a job and defend them, as sad as their story might be.
Yeah, and I think over the years you get used to it because you just have to condition yourself, because if you get too emotionally involved, it's just going to mess you up.
It's a learned behavior. Yeah, I'm trying to take notes because I'm already worried, you know, our client's getting sentenced next month, and I'm like, will he write me from prison? Like, I'm concerned about.
You want to get some jail mail?
I'm concerned about him. I think a really good question also is, you've talked about the different jobs that you've had throughout your career. What was the best one? Which one did you enjoy the most? And
definitely the best job I've had was a public defender. And I know people bag on public defenders, and people are like, should I hire a lawyer that has time for me? It was literally the best job I had because it built character. Yes, the caseloads were crazy. You're in the courtroom pretty much every day. So I was the person that was taking files home, because if I was in trial, that was just me. I loved trial. I was going to put in the extra time to do it. But the camaraderie, because we're on the losing side as a defense attorney, especially in the public defender's office. And the people that I worked with were just amazing. And we were all kind of sick and twisted in our own ways. As weird as that sounds, you have to have a special personality to be able to be a public defender because of what we deal with. You know, we don't get to pick our clients. We can't fire our clients. Yeah. So it was an experience that I'll never forget. I was sad when I left, but it was time to leave and go out on my own. But I miss the camaraderie. I still see, you know, some of my friends. A lot of them have retired since then, but I still see some of them.
I'm surprised by the camaraderie aspect of it. Did you guys beef with the DA's office?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I was talking about within the public defender's office. Like, we'd always get together and talk about cases and just some of the content. And it's like gallows humor when you make fun of something that's just horrendous just to deal with it.
But the best type of humor.
Yeah. But the problem was when we'd all go out in groups at lunch and we'd be talking about our cases and the members of the public are sitting around us and we're talking like we talk in the office.
Yeah.
There's been times I'm looking around going, oh, I think we should stop.
Someone
because people are looking horrified at our
conversations. They get a wind of something and they're like, maybe we should move.
Right. Or we have to be mindful if there's kids sitting next to us. Yeah. We were like in our own bubble, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the best job you've ever had as an attorney. What's your dream job in this profession? Or are you living it?
My dream job is to just be like a hired gun for trials. Like that's all I do. It's the firm or whatever attorney or firm I'm doing this case for, they work it up. They make sure everything's ready to go.
Hand it over to you.
Hand it over to me, and then I just do the trial. Or even second chair trials, that's fine too. But just to be a trial lawyer, and I would love to go to other states federally because I can. I just love the whole jury trial experience. It's so fun.
What do you love about it?
I think it's the performance aspect. So,
given your background, let's tell the listeners a little bit about your background and why you love performing.
Yeah, so I was a cheerleader since 7th grade, and I cheered in high school, I cheered in college, and I cheered for the NFL professionally during law school. I was a San Diego Charger girl. During law school, I have a funny story about running off the field to take a remedies exam because they wouldn't change the time for me in my uniform.
I cannot even
I did put my
imagine.
sweats on before I showed up at school, though. And then after San Diego, I moved back to Orange County to take the bar, and I was a Los Angeles Rams cheerleader there last year here. It was so fun. I have so many friends on that. We're getting together next week. So it's the whole performance aspect. You can't be a cheerleader for your whole life. Your body's going to just
disintegrate.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't want to wear that uniform that many years. Just no one wants to see that.
Yeah.
But just the performance aspect, the courtroom it's a performance. It's a challenge to pick a jury that you think is going to find in your favor, and you're performing. Like, I know most of the jurors think the legal community is the stuff they see off television. Yeah. I don't think TV is realistic. But you have to play into that because that's what people are used to. So when I do a trial, I am going to be the brightest person in the courtroom. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to connect with all the jurors. I don't want to sound boring. I don't want to waste their time. I try to get in and get out with my questioning. If there's one little area that I can create drama, I'm going to create the drama because people like to see the drama, whether it's necessarily relevant or not, but I just want the jury to like me.
And I think they do. You definitely show up and show out. And that really is interesting.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, that's something I've learned working for you is bringing the drama and making it really difficult. And the strategy, just whether that's in the courtroom or writing motions or wherever you might be with the judge, it's just bring in the drama. And
a lot of it's strategy.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah, you have to know who the players are. Is this going to work?
And it's worked well for us.
Can I get something out of it?
Many times.
Can I beat them down where they just don't want to deal with
so
me?
Dramatic. That last one, the prosecutor was like,
I'm
okay,
done.
I'm done. I'm
win.
giving you guys exactly what you want. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
But it's really worked out well. It's a good strategy, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I have some rapid fire questions for you that I'm going to ask you. So not much thought, just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. They're not too bad. Okay, favorite legal TV show?
Ally McBeal.
I knew you were going to say that.
That is I can't take realistic legal shows seriously because they're so not realistic. Ally McBeal was from the 90s, and it was hilarious courtroom stuff, antics, and just hilarious. So I strongly recommend watching old Ally McBeal episodes.
Yeah, you had told me that before, and I had never seen it, and I started watching it on Hulu. And
isn't it funny?
I agree. This is a very great legal show.
Yes.
You're also a Judge Judy fan, though, no?
Yes, that's actually my dream job.
Yeah.
Aside from being
a
trial lawyer, I was thinking realistically.
Yeah.
If I could ever be in the shoes of like Judge Judy doing that courtroom shows where you're just, mine would be like more fraud related. I just love calling out fraud. But,
yeah.
Because there's a lot of fraud in small claims actions. I think I would be good at that. It would be fun.
It's like you were an investigator in your past life or something.
I know, maybe it was.
Your brain is always ticking, like, what's going on?
I know, like I don't trust people by nature.
You trust nobody.
I know.
The poor man will be doing maintenance outside on his ladder, and you're peeking out the window.
Like, who is that?
What
are
is
they
he
doing?
Who is he? What do you think his motive is? What's going on here? I'm like, he's just hammering a nail in Karren.
I'm just messed up from my years of
very weary
this.
of but that's worked to your advantage for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, I think you would be interesting on TV. I think it's not a unrealistic job for you.
Well, if they're looking for anybody.
See you. I remember when I first met you, I thought, what a beautiful blonde lady. And oh my gosh, she's so sweet. And you're the nicest person ever. You've taken me under your wing.
You know, prosecutors wouldn't agree with that.
They would not agree with that. And that's what I liked about that is I remember the first time watching, it was a fraud case in federal court, watching you cross-examine someone, just sitting there. Because I had no idea that this pit bull would come out of you in the courtroom. I was in such awe. I think that's the best part about you is that people don't expect that from you. And then they walk away with whiplash and they're like, what just happened in that courtroom? It's like your secret weapon almost. They don't see it coming.
I'll take that
secret
weapon.
So I love that. Okay, my next rapid is if you could give a celebrity legal advice, who would it be?
Oh, wow. I need to be careful on this one.
Just who would it be? No, don't give them legal advice. But if you could offer legal advice to a celebrity.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that answer coming.
I'm not going to tell you what the legal advice is, but.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, I'm intrigued. Can you tell me off camera?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Would you rather cross-examine or defend your ex?
My ex-husband?
Yes.
I would defend him.
I'm shocked at this question.
He's actually very nice. I have nothing wrong to say about my ex-husband. We went to college together. He was my cheerleading partner at Cal State Fullerton.
Okay, I know you love him, but like...
No, I mean, we shouldn't have gotten married, but he's just a nice guy and he's super smart. I could never imagine him in trouble.
I figured you just love cross-examining people so much. How fun to cross-examine your ex.
No, I would defend him.
Oh, that's sweet. Shout out to Karren's ex.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in the witness protection program.
Ooh, that's actually scary. The WITSEC program.
Scary? Why?
Yeah. Well, there's different levels on the federal side of witness protection, and it's up to the snitch or whatever who needs the protection decide what level they want. But the highest level, the government helps you change your name, move somewhere else. Like, it's kind of scary.
No, that is. You have to restart. That's my question. You're in the witness protection program. What's your new name and and what's your job?
Ooh. My new name would be probably Hannah.
Oh, Hannah.
Hannah Banana. No, just kidding.
Hannah Banana.
My name would be Hannah. I don't know what my last name would be.
I like Hannah.
Hannah, and I would be a Pilates instructor or own a Pilates studio.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Witness protection, but keeping our glutes tight.
Exactly.
Amazing.
I used to teach aerobics back in the day when I was cheering.
Of course you did.
Cal State Fullerton. Old school aerobics, like old school aerobics.
Like you wore like neon and
all that stuff.
Oh my God. You had the headband.
I did.
And I did. Like 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. I need to see video footage of this. We should release the clips of you did the Rams. Was it the Rams? Or last year, the Chargers?
The Chargers and the Rams. I do have clips of both, I think, or access to getting clips of both.
Yeah, but you did the reunion dance. What
was
that?
Right.
2 or 3 years ago?
2 seasons ago, the Rams had all us old ladies back on the field for halftime.
Nothing is better than seeing you out there 2 years ago.
Okay. But I couldn't walk for like a week.
You were on point. I was like, I'm so impressed.
It was fun.
You can move.
It was fun.
Okay, what's the most overused phrase in court?
Overused phrase? Oh, gosh.
Probably your favorite phrase, no?
Objection?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't think it's overused because I love that word. That's my favorite word in the courtroom.
I know. You object to literally everything.
I like to make up my own objections. Sometimes I get in trouble for that.
That leads me into the next question perfectly. Have you ever gotten in trouble in court?
Yes.
And for what?
I've been in trouble for my facial expressions, my tone of voice. It's like, come on. I'm fighting. Like, isn't that my job?
That is your
That's
job.
probably the most. And those literally aren't in the evidence code. So I don't know why I would get in trouble for those, because the prosecutor would object to my tone of voice, or the prosecutor would object to
your eye roll?
No, that would be the judge getting called out for eye rolling. And I think when I do it, I'm not even aware of it.
No, you have no idea. You have no poker face.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily...
I try, but it's gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
When I spent my first year in juvenile court, it was so frustrating because you have the judge who's making all the decisions. There's a probation officer in the courtroom every day. And when you go in chamber cases, you have to talk to the judge, the probation officer, and the DA, and you're literally by yourself, it feels like. It's like 1 against 3. And there were so many times I was so mad because you're dealing with kids.
Yeah.
And most of these kids are from broken homes with no fathers. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about rehabilitation. But when I did it, I didn't feel like it was about rehabilitation, and that was what was enraging. I think it's changed over the years. But
I hope so.
Yeah.
It still feels enraging sometimes, some of the cases that we work on.
Yeah.
When, people are screaming, oh, the system's about rehabilitation now. And I think it's gotten better with the drug programs and things like that. But still sometimes doesn't feel...
It's still, criminal justice reform
running into a wall over and over again.
Yeah, criminal justice reform has a long way to go.
A long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you could talk to Kim Kardashian about that when you give her legal advice. Speaking of legal advice, what's one piece of advice you would give to young women who are entering into criminal law?
Okay. Criminal law specifically, or just being lawyers?
Whatever. We could do both. You could do either.
So, having been a litigator for 30 years, there is a serious, how would I describe it? There are so many more male lawyers, male litigators in the courtroom, especially when you're doing jury trials. We need more female litigators who actually go to trial and do the trials. There's just not enough of us. And I get it. A lot of women who go to law school, and then when they have kids, some of them stop. You can do both. Like, that's what I did. Granted, I have an only child, so it was easier. My husband is a fireman, retired now, but it was just easier with...
Still a lot.
It's still a lot. And I just wish more women would be willing to do it because it's fun. And I think we bring a different perspective to the whole jury trial element because we're women.
Yeah.
Especially depending on the case that we're dealing with. I just wish there was more of us. So I would tell the younger women out there to pursue it because it's worth it. I don't know if I've told you this before, but I was not supposed to be a lawyer. I bombed the LSAT. I was told to think of another profession. I got denied by every law school I applied to. It was bad. But because I was so determined, I'm like, nope, I've wanted to be a lawyer since I was, a little kid. I'm not giving up. And I didn't give up. And I've been doing this for 30 years. So there's people out there that might not think they're smart enough. Don't let anybody tell you that, just do it. Because you can. I did it, and I was told to think of another job. So, yeah, I like to give encouragement to people that get discouraged.
I love that. I'd like to give my own little encouragement just because I went to law school. Just for our listeners, I'm graduating law school in February, and then I'll be taking the bar. But I went later on in life. I didn't start until after I had my son and finishing now at 3. And I want to give the same message, though. You can still do that, even when you have children and you have a lot going on. I'm about to give birth right before law school ends and taking the bar. But you've really been an inspiration to me of you can do it and helping me navigate, understand, okay, how do I take time off and still maintain my career? And what does that look like? That's been super inspirational to me because as soon as people see that I'm pregnant, oh, you're going to give up law school? I'm sorry, no. We've been doing this for, there's no giving up law school.
It's funny you say that because I had fertility issues. So I think that's why I was a crazy trial lawyer, because during my fertility issues at the public defender's office, I didn't want to deal with my personal problem.
Yeah.
So I was just like trial, and people thought I was crazy.
You're just jacked up on fertility hormones.
And when I was pregnant, I was doing felony prelims, and these people would come up to me and go, are you sure you don't want an easier assignment? You're pregnant. I was like, are you kidding me? No, I don't want an easier assignment. I love doing this, and it's keeping my mind off everything else going on.
Yeah, nothing stops.
I don't like when people give us those types of labels and think that we can't do something because we're pregnant.
I know. I'm the same exact way. People are saying to me, you're still going into the prisons and the jails? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
When I
might have to go sideways through the metal detector, but I'm still coming in. Nothing, you can do it all.
When I was pregnant doing prelims, I'd have to go in the tank area to talk to my clients. And the inmates were so nice to you when you're pregnant. Oh my gosh.
I know. Remember a client called the other day. He's like, hi, it's my little pregnant Danielle. So cute. Did you experience, just if you could touch on that, a lot of that sexism coming up? Obviously, such a male-dominated industry. We know that. But did you personally?
I did.
Yeah.
But it was in the private sector.
Okay.
Public sector, not at all. Public defender's office. And maybe that's why I just loved that job so much, because it was more equal, as many female lawyers as there were male lawyers. So there was a good balance. But when you get out into the private sector, it was not like that.
It wasn't like that.
Not at all. And it was disheartening. So I was glad to go to the public defender's office, and then ultimately I'm on my own. We have all women here.
So which is the best part.
Girl boss firm.
Yes, seriously. I came, as you know, from working for a male and working for a female, and the difference is just night and day. So my advice to women coming up looking for a legal job is try to find a female boss, because I honestly was really scared.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were going to be welcoming or hard. Women can sometimes be that way.
That's
a lot.
True. Yeah, that's true.
And it's how is she going to be?
Depends on the person.
Exactly. But that first conversation, I remember hanging up and thinking, oh my God, she's so sweet and she is so nice. And thank God that I came over here, because it is such a relaxed environment. You're very much about, which I think is important as a boss, is balance, where you don't see that a lot in the legal profession. You should work yourself into the ground 24 hours a day, always be available. And
well, I do that, but it's my firm.
And I'm like, take your own advice. But you're very big on, this is just a job.
Well, family first.
Exactly. And enjoying your life,
and we're closed on Fridays because I don't believe in a 5-day work week. I work 5 days a week, but
you work like 7 days a week.
I know, I do work every day.
For your staff, you're very much.
And people do not work on their birthdays if you work for me. You get, if your birthday falls on a work day, you get the day off paid, because no one should ever work on their birthday.
I think that touching on giving advice to young women, I think that's really important, especially young women going into law school. I had no direction. Yes, my father is an attorney. He deterred me from going to law school my entire life. He was like, do not go to law school. Absolutely hated it. But so I had nobody to look to really get through that. And I think that that's important. I think women are going to want to hear from that, hear about that from you. And we should start doing, like, I don't know, weekly or, advice to younger women about
Little Vixens.
Little Vixens.
Is that cute? They're little Vixens?
That is so cute. You're going to have, they're not, like Taylor Swift has Swifties, and you're going to have your little Vixens.
My little Vixens.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
So then every episode you'll give your little Vixens
Advice.
some kind of advice to get them through law school, or, you know, even new young attorneys. That's really scary. I know I'm terrified about that. I'm like, will you hold my hand for my first trial? So I think that's going to be really good. Let's, before we end, maybe just give our little Vixens one question. Which one do I want to give them? Can you talk about the stress of law school and what that's like? Because people,
yes, I can.
Underestimate it or overestimate it.
It's definitely not overestimated because, okay, my first year of law school, because, you know, I had it in my head, you suck, you bomb the LSAT, you shouldn't even be trying to be a lawyer. So I'm going into law school with that.
Already, yeah.
And it was hard for me because then you start doubting yourself. Can I do this? And the stress from the first year, so bad. I developed a panic disorder and literally had righteous panic attacks. And I thought I was dying every time I had one.
Oh my
So it was
goodness.
hard. And I had to go through like biofeedback training. They had me on some medications to help. Like I had Xanax in case I had panic attack, but I had to train my body. And I should have just been doing that more. So self-care, especially mental health wise, like don't burn yourself out. Like try to take a 24-hour period during your week where you're not doing law school. You need to recharge or you're going to burn out.
That's so important.
Yeah.
I remember in pre-law, my first law class, I had this professor who I still have to this day and I love him, but he scared the shit out of me. And
was his last name Faust?
No.
Because that's the guy that...
And he said, if you're in law school and you're watching TV, you're behind. You shouldn't be watching TV. In your car, you shouldn't be listening to music. You should be listening to your notes.
That's psycho.
That was me the first year of law school. I'm in my car.
Yeah, and then you're all tight. And
I'm
you're
listening to my notes. And my son, my poor 3-year-old, probably could give you all the black letter law definitions of criminal law because
funny.
He's like Baby Shark. And I'm like, no, criminal law. But that's how I live my life. And I realized you're right. You can't do that.
No.
You cannot do that. You're going to lose your mind. You have to have a really good balance. And so I started implementing that in my second year. And that helps so much
And exercise too.
Yeah.
People need to get out of the chair or get off your bed.
You're just sitting there all day. But really implementing that saved me because that first year, I've only had 2 mental breakdowns in 4 years of law school. And
I've only had 2. Were you committed?
No,
Just
but
kidding.
every time my boyfriend's like, are you okay? And I'm like, listen, 2 in 4 years is very good. But definitely a journey that's been so worth it.
And I was glad when I finally got out of law school, I had to wean myself off like the medications because I'm like, I don't want to be on this forever.
No.
And now I'm a trial lawyer, like one of the most stressful.
I know. I was just going to
crazy.
say that doesn't.
But I've learned to deal with it.
Did you panic when you took the bar? Were you freaked out?
Yeah, I freaked out. But I had to take it 2 times. The first time, although I didn't know it at the time, the second day, it used to be 3 days when I took it.
Yeah.
The second day I took it, I was so sick. And I just assumed it was stress. Third day, I was even worse. The day after the bar, I broke out in the chicken pox.
Oh my gosh, you took the bar. How did you not have chicken pox your whole life until you took the bar? I didn't.
And when you get them when you're an adult, it's so much worse and it's actually really dangerous.
Yeah.
So at least that explained, like, I was still close to passing and I was so sick. That's the reason I took it again. Plus, I didn't have a backup plan.
This is it. Can't be a cheerleader anymore.
And then I passed the bar with my ex-husband. We passed the same bar.
And we took it together.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was his first time. It was my second time. But yeah, it was hard. But then, okay, I have a funny bar exam story. The guy next to me, I wanted to kill him because I decided to use a typewriter. Yes, that's how long ago it was. Typewriter. They had a typing room. So I brought my electric typewriter. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. The guy next to me shows up. I don't even know if you know what this is. With a manual typewriter from like the 50s.
Like,
yes. And you know how hard you have to hit the buttons? He's like,
Oh my gosh.
And it was a table for 2 people. And every time he was like shaking the whole table, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm literally having to share this desk with, and I'll never forget his name. And he passed the bar because I looked it up. I literally wanted to kill him.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
that would drive me crazy. I cannot imagine.
I wrote it out the second time. We had to use blue books. Like there was no computers then. It was like blue books.
I don't know how. Okay. I think the mic is saying that we should wrap it up. I think that might be all we have for today.
That's funny.
Especially because there's no way in hell I'll be able to get this back in.
There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that is a good ending point. Did you have anything else that maybe you wanted to say to the viewers, or just this was just the tipping point?
Yeah, we have so much content to share. Maybe you just
we have a producer, Brian. Apparently he didn't do his job today, so Brian.
Slide it backward.
Okay. Yeah, tell people really quickly just kind of what they can expect, or you're going to have other guests.
Yeah,
it's
I plan to have
just
other guests on.
You'll have guests. So talk to them and kind of about what this is going to look like.
I want to do different aspects of like criminal cases, potentially civil cases, bring on investigator, retired police officer, probably bring on my husband one day, what it's like to be married to a psychotic lawyer. He's a retired fireman, so he has fun stories because he used to be so pro DA side, and then over the years,
other aspect. Yeah.
And then I want to bring my daughter in, what it's like growing up with a lawyer mom.
Love that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then just different types of people and talking about cases, like notable cases that are going on.
Yeah.
Just organically have this go where it goes.
Yeah, you've had some really interesting cases too. Mexican mafia cases, Aryan Brotherhood cases, which you're going to talk about all of it, but you always know people love to hear. That's the number one question I get. Okay, so what kind of like really cool criminal cases are you guys doing?
I would love to bring in my client that I represent in the Mexican mafia case. She was the girlfriend at the time of the head of the Mexican mafia here in Orange County. And I love her to death. I don't know if she'd be willing to, but I'm going to reach out to her and see if she will. I also want to bring on one of my favorite judges who just retired.
That would be great.
I don't know if he's willing to do it, but I love him.
So lots to come for the listeners of Legal Vixen.
Yes, absolutely.
We're excited. Thank you so much for having me today. I love you so much.
Aww.
And it's been such an honor to work for you. And I'm really excited for people to get to know you and kind of see the ins and outs of what it's like to be a trial attorney.
Thanks for coming and being part of this broadcast.
Till next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Bye.